Welcome, gamers, to this week's episode of Last Call Gaming. We're on episode number 46. My name is Craig Perales, and the man that finally joins me back behind the desk of old, Mandrew Montemayor.
Here's a little inside scoop for some of you guys. Sometimes I like to pretend like I'm writing something, but really I'm not. I just like to look busy.
He's a busy bee, always in my eyes. But we just want to put it back out there, guys. In our area, maybe not yours, Corona has kind of calmed down a little bit, so Andrew and I are at the point where we're comfortable to do a show live now again. Last week we didn't have one. We had some issues. Andrew was in the middle of starting his new job. He was getting all that thing ready. I won't blame everything on maybe a complication, but I had some computer problems. What else was a hurdle in our way from last week?
I don't know if there's too much of it, but I mean, more than anything, realistically, we already knew they were opening a bunch of stores and stuff back up, restaurants and everything. So we figured we'd rather just get back in and do it right the way we're used to than...
Right, our schedule's getting off. Episodes were coming out on one day, and then, it wouldn't make sense to do another one in three. So now, as long as the flow stays the same, we should be back on track with Thursday recordings and Friday outputs. Unless I can get it done Thursday nights, we'll put them back out.
Today is Thursday the 17th.
17th. Today's the 14th.
Oh, well, I'm 3 days off.
We're losing days. So what we want to talk about, guys, is since we didn't record the last week, we want to recap the Xbox Live event that was done. We want to go over the PS5 tech demo that showed off the Unreal Engine 5, and we're going to get into the new 18-minute Ghost of Tsushima trailer. But let's start with the Xbox Live, because what that did was kind of put, I don't want to say a bad taste in anyone's mouth, but a lot of people were let down with what was actually seen versus what they thought they were going to watch. And we kind of recapped it right now between each other and what it was shown. Andrew, you saw the Xbox Live as much as anyone else did. Did it rub you the wrong way? Was there something that you walked away going,
I think this is like the first time that they've had bad messaging. And they did, in their defense, say, we're going to show gameplay, but we're also going to show some other things and reveal some other stuff too. So it wasn't all supposed to be gameplay. But they also did put out extra tweets saying, next gen starts next week. Come see the future of next gen. Check out this next gen gameplay. And there wasn't really anything out of the whole thing because it was mostly just like cutscenes. I might as well have been watching trailers. I get that it's in-game engines, but there's lots of things that look good. There wasn't anything that I was watching it, nor because of how fast paced it was, that I was sitting there like, oh man, I really had time to admire that. I don't know, it was just really weird. And I'll say, like, the only game that kind of really did it for me and I thought did it right, and what it started strong with that Bright Memory Infinite, because it was a chunk of like 30-40 seconds of just straight gameplay. It looked really good. I thought the game was pretty beautiful. I thought it was another Titanfall at first until like they pulled out the sword and stuff, and then it jumped to like another snippet, and then there was an end, and it was only like a minute long. I was like, all right, man, that started off great. This thing's gonna go up, and then from there it was just...
Yeah, they started off that very strong, and I thought the game looked like Crysis at first. And apparently this is an older game. I wasn't aware of that, by FYQD Studio. Apparently it's like an independent Chinese studio. It's been out for a minute now, so it makes sense that what they had to show off was gameplay instead of like a trailer, because if the game's already out, then it's already out. Yeah, what Andrew was saying, it doesn't make sense that they're trying to pioneer this thing of going, oh guys, here's the first time you're going to see all this new gameplay on all the next gen hardware. And what we saw was all these kind of cinematic scopes. And I guess kind of maybe to their defense, when you're going to be launching things like that over a digital space, maybe not everybody sees it as beautiful as maybe it should have looked, but then don't make that your number one thing of showing this is how it's going to look, this is how you're going to review it, because when you finally watch it, it was just more of the same. Like Andrew said, we could have watched a roller coaster of trailers, and there's nothing different. And one of the things I got to put out here is they said, Aaron Greenberg responded back from the blowback saying that Microsoft, and quote, clearly we set some wrong expectation, and that's on us. We appreciate all the feedback and can assure you we will take it all in and learn as a team, end quote. Now, why would Inside Xbox, their whole thing was all third parties, right? So it's like Microsoft's apologizing for things that's showing off third party things. Nothing on there was really an Xbox Series X first party game. And I wanted to see more of that, and B, just in general gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, they already said it was going to be a third party thing, and I was perfectly fine with that. But it was more that they set the expectation that there was going to be gameplay. Like, they had mentioned that a bunch of times. Gameplay. Come see the future of next gen. I didn't get a chance to really see anything that I was like, oh, wow, that's next gen. That looks great. And again, the reason we're talking about this today is because the PlayStation just did, like, the little tech spec reveal, which they said, come check out what next gen's really supposed to look like. And that, spoiler alert, like, that did get me. I was like, oh, fuck, like, this actually looks really good. This is way better than what I saw because it's taking the time. And even still, like I said, if there was just more shit like what Bright Memory was, I would have been fine. And then to follow up with the ending, of, oh, here, come check out the, oh, we're forgetting one thing. Oh, gameplay of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And it was just more, it was like a fucking trailer. There was no gameplay. I don't even know how that game functionally operates because it was just more cutscenes.
Yeah, it was. We saw less on the gameplay of Assassin's Creed Valhalla than we saw on the 4-minute trailer. And then who was doing it? It was the creative director Ashraf Ismail did the interview with Jess Rubenstein, and Rubenstein's like, correct me if I'm wrong, but did I see gameplay in that? And yeah, if you want to, cut corners and be like, yeah, was that gameplay that was in-game engine footage? Then sure, but you can't say to anyone, oh, did you see that new Assassin's Creed gameplay? Because nothing happened. We didn't see anything that showed what the game's going to be like. And when we did the last episode, I was kind of giving the pass on that trailer because that was the debut showing of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I was going, okay, if that's the first thing you want to do, fine, 4-minute trailer.
Right.
So then in a week from now, I'm going to get gameplay. And that's where the bad taste in my mouth is, because it was purely broadcasted as, here's the first gameplay, and it was not in what we would call gameplay.
Again, and that's exactly my sentiment. Is like, okay, you proved the concept to me. Now I'm ready for the gameplay and for everything else, because the idea fits what I want it to be now, or what I think it should be, what I think looks cool. Now show me something more. Again, the biggest problem I think was just their messaging, especially if you were going to come out. I think maybe that's the biggest problem with some of and maybe what might be a bigger problem with some of these all digital events now, is it seems like everyone's just drip feeding stuff and everyone wants to hold it for more and more and more. It's like, if you were going to come out and show something and this is really supposed to be the first look at next gen, I don't get why you wouldn't have shown me something with more of a punch.
Right.
Like Bright Memory and then some of the other shit. But then you have, again, something else that came out today was the Ghost of Tsushima gameplay, which looks better than a majority of those games on the list. And that game's not next gen. That's a PlayStation 4 game coming out here in 2 months.
Yeah, so this thing had about 14 games on it. If you want to go back and watch it, you can. And again, they didn't do anything wrong. I mean, if you want to watch brand new, because a lot of those were world premieres, a lot of it we got to find out they're going to be day one Game Pass games. So I mean, it was a cool little thing to watch. But what was interpreted was the gameplay, and that's what most people wanted to see. If you're going to use this as the first platform to show off these games, that's fine. But it's hard for me to wrap my head around in 2020. We're having problems with messaging. If there's not going to be gameplay, then don't say it like that. Just say, hey, here's the first time we're going to check out some new games. Here's one of many things that are going to happen over this calendar event, because we know most things are going digital now. I feel like they almost said something to get more people to watch it. And then once people watched it and weren't 100% happy with it, kind of backpedaled and said, oh, well, the next one's going to be better. Because now Ubisoft has a new event coming in 2 months, which better show gameplay of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So let's move past the Xbox Live and kind of dive into what we saw today, unless there's anything else you want to say about the Xbox Live event.
And I think my big thing that I want to say about it too is if they had just said, hey, you know what, we're just going to show some new games. Some of them are running on next gen. That's triple party or third party. All we're going to do is just, hey, these are people that are supporting us. Take it for what it is. And it's just a normal inside Xbox. Nobody wouldn't have said a word, because there was lots of cool looking games
really cool
in
stuff,
there, like the Medium, Second Extinction, like the dinosaur game, the Ascent, and stuff like that. But they just set a bigger precedent for the fact that there should be gameplay. What was worse is games like the Ascent that had their 1-2 minute trailer afterwards on IGN is like an IGN first. There's like 15 minutes of gameplay, like actual raw gameplay, and I'm like, that's what I wanted to fucking see.
Right, yeah, they should be doing more things of how Ghost of Tsushima kind of did it, was broadcasting these big 18-minute, let's say 10 to 18 minute of one game focusing, where IGN did that with some games, where this 14-minute thing was just, it was a stepping stone. It was cool to watch, but everything moving forward needs to, this needs to be the first mistake. Everything moving forward needs to blow this out of the water, and I think yesterday and today we got that, because what we saw with the PS5 tech demo was exceptionally well.
Again, I thought, and they didn't for what they showed, I don't think it was actually like a game. As far as I can tell when I looked online, I didn't see like a title or anything. Again, it's just labeled like tech demo, tech demo, tech demo. And I think it's akin to like when they showed off the PS4, they had like an old man footage that they called, and it wasn't really anything, it was just showing what they could do with the engine. But either way, it's what I wanted to see, because it does demonstrate how a game could play, how it's going to look. Is this next gen what next gen offers? I think that they nailed it in that, however long that thing was.
Yeah.
It was like 4 minutes, or not 10 minutes.
Yeah, if you're looking at the specs, right? Because we want to know what the Series X is going to look like when games are being played on it, whether it's a game or not. Because I'm sure that thing might eventually, or maybe is a game. Because, yeah, there was no name. But what the PS5 showcase on the Unreal Engine 5 was how they're going to be doing all these new pixels, and what was the nanite with all these triangles and push. And to some people, that's irrelevant. Nobody, not everybody cares about that. But when you're watching it and they're showing this is the difference. When we have a statue that takes X amount of, triangles and then make 500 on there, and then here's the lighting system. It's like, wow, and this is open to all developers. Everybody has access to this. This is what the PS5 is going to look like. That was awesome. We didn't get to see that really with the Series X yet.
Again, because it was all going so fast that I didn't have time to like really examine it. Like here, they actually stopped. They did a breakdown. He was showing how you can move the light, and how she has like the light in her hand compared to like the actual light that's breaking down, how you move through the darkness, or even still they're talking about her generated foot patterns when she's climbing, and you see lots of particle effects. So when she's digging in her feet, you see the dust and rock breaking off and stuff like that. That's really what I was wanting to see. I was like, okay, cool, this is exactly what I want to see. I can see now, like I can see a big difference between what I could see from anything in the past. And I think even though they don't show loading screen, they do like the wall crawl thing or whatever, but I'd rather have that than a loading screen. So anything that they showed at all, there wasn't a hiccup, and it was just one straight go, no loading screens. Didn't seem like anything had to stop the load. Even when she did like that jump and flying and stuff like that through the desert. And
again, anything we can showcase, because we're at the point where we just want to see how things are going to look, because the whole thing is this next gen. It's going to have this, it's going to have that. And correct me if I'm wrong, that last Xbox breakdown was just them piecing out the Xbox and what's in it, right? So we can look at it and go, oh, it should look really good. PS5, and again, kudos to Sony, because they've kind of not been doing a lot lately. And the fact that they did in a 10-minute demo showed, guys, we don't have to say much, because here's what it's going to look like. And that looked badass. I mean, there's nothing about that we saw that you can complain about, unless maybe you weren't watching it on a good TV and a good, if you're using an Xbox or whatever. If it looks bad on your TV and you're like, that doesn't look that great. But if you got an HD TV and 4K and all that stuff, that looked badass. I don't think there's anything that we can go, oh, well, PS5 is going to deliver. And at least.
And that's part of the problem, too, is, like, they didn't have to show me The Last of Us 3, The Last of Us running on the next thing. They just, a tech demo. This game could never come to fruition. Just like, akin to Final Fantasy, or Square Enix did the Agnes Philosophy, which looked really good, and I thought would have made a great, like, Final Fantasy. But just to show off the engine, this is what it can do. This is what our console could do. This is what it's capable of. This is just kind of treading the waters, of course, because we're just starting. But hey, this is why you should upgrade to next gen. This is the proof of concept why you should upgrade. Whereas all that other stuff, I was like, it's all cutscenes, man. I can't tell you why should I upgrade to the next Xbox, because all that shit it looked like it could have run on mine, because it looks like a high-res cutscene.
Yeah, and most of their stuff was a smart delivery. Most of it was going, I think the message on the bottom was like, this is optimized to be shown in Series X gameplay footage. It's like, okay.
When I have 2 seconds
dedicated
of fucking whatever, it's like 2 seconds here, 2 seconds there, 2 seconds there. Like, I can't gauge, like, oh man, that looks so much better. I'm just like, oh, this kind of looks like, ugh.
Yeah, and
like,
again,
it's just, I can't tell the difference between a fucking cutscene or what's going on.
And what's unfair, so keep in mind, we're not trying to, like, bash anything. This is all just the Unreal Engine 5, right? There's going to be other engines that are running, but what the PS5 showed was that here's how good this is going to look on next gen. So I think they did a great job showcasing how the next gen, the PS5, is going to perform with optimum specs, which was awesome.
For sure. For somebody who hasn't, like, again, like you said earlier, who hasn't been having the best messaging, not saying much, Microsoft's been killing them every turn, just knocking it out of the park. They just threw a fat haymaker right now. That's what
like,
that was. Because I enjoyed that much more than I did whatever was shown the other day.
Yeah, so we'll leave the link in the description, guys. Check it out. It's 10 minutes. It went by like that. I was just like, wow, that was really cool. It went by really fast. Is there anything else you want to add talking about Xbox Live or the tech demo for PS5?
I did say his note for the tech demo too. They did exactly what I like, and the person doesn't talk through the entire fucking thing. And they're not talking like, oh, we got to stop, show the dude as he's describing something for 40 minutes. Like, that 10 minutes is just short, sweet, to the point.
But
with the perfect amount of him explaining, hey, this is what we can do.
Yeah, they'd pause it and go, here's this. And they do a quick explanation. So anybody that's, in layman's terms that didn't get what was going on, they'd go, oh, cool. And then you'd watch it. And then they'd stop and go, well, then check this out. And then it would keep playing. It wasn't like a person explaining something that like you're still not gonna get. So I don't know. I think they did a really solid job, and I want more of that.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, do me the Series X. Do that. Two biggies. So you buying a PS5 now?
Yeah.
Did that get you going?
We're gonna have to. I mean, eventually.
Oh yeah, that's day one stuff. But
who knows? Maybe we'll give one away.
Oh, he's tempting you. So the other big thing that came out was the 18-minute long Ghost of Tsushima actual gameplay and review and showing off and what exactly everybody else wanted to see from Assassin's Creed. But Ghost of Tsushima did it. We saw it first. Beautiful.
First impression, like, I didn't even, again, just like the Sony thing, I didn't realize 18 minutes went by.
It was over before it started. I was just like, and we got so much. I was telling me and Andrew were watching. I was like, we saw more in the first 3 minutes of this game, and we've seen tons of cinematic trailers. That's fine. We saw more in the first 3 minutes of that 18 minutes than we've seen all of Assassin's Creed in terms of what it's going to show off and what it can do outside of where it's placed. And that's the key when you're trying to show, if you're going to call anything gameplay, show me the map system, show me where my health bar is, show me how the fighting style is going to look. And this thing in that 18 minutes delivered all that and more. I wasn't aware of the like the costume customization that could also be enhanced with the charms and stuff like that. So it gave us more than what we knew, and it shined the light on things we already knew and made it look even better. So where would you like to start with that? Because it broke it down into a couple different categories.
I think the first thing, besides the fact that it's beautiful, the way you can tell for sure, is the map is big.
Huge.
Yeah, and it looks almost like, and I do hate when maps are too big and there's way too fucking much to do, but I do like the idea of, I see it, I can go there. And it didn't seem like the HUD was really, there wasn't really like a HUD so much when you're actually exploring. So when you're more exploring and doing stuff, I like what he was saying, that you're supposed to know where to, you can look at your map, but if you're just trying to explore and find new stuff, look for signs of like smoke or weird trees or an animal or whatever.
Right, yeah.
So you're using the environment to tell your story to, hey, that looks cool over there. I'm going to go check that out. There's a big fucking fire over there. There's a big smoke trail. I wonder what happened. I'm going to bushwhack through these trees and figure out what's going on over there. So I thought that looked great because the environment looked absolutely beautiful. And they didn't even just show off too, like a big chunk of him exploring through the smoke, the trees, whatever. They just showed him in different areas. At one point he's in like an ocean, and another one it's on like a mountain. Plus there's also I don't know if it's a part of the game or if it's just certain sections, but you do play some parts at night, so I don't know if there's a day and night cycle, but at night it's even more beautiful, and I instantly fell in love.
Yeah, so speaking more to like the environment part, it was saying like if you get lost or you kind of need to navigate your way, you can hit a button and wind's gonna kind of direct you. So instead of making it
I did like
an over obvious arrow or a marked line like some games have, it was just kind of this natural thing that blows you in the right direction. If you discovered a new thing, and because there's a point I think he gets to something and he can't really access a shrine because he's not at a certain level compared to what it needed. The moment you have it, it's unlocked and you can instantly fast travel. And in an era where we thought we had fast travel down and other big games have kind of missed the mark with fast travel, Witcher 3, Red Dead Redemption 2, it's cool that this game is going to give you that option. The night aspect I thought looked exceptional, like Andrew's saying, it looked exceptionally cool. And I wasn't sure, did they say he was going back and fighting the exact same group that he was fighting as the samurai in the day versus the ghost at night?
I think it was a different group.
Okay, because I was curious if you could make the mission attack it, either if you prefer playing the samurai via the ghost,
I'm sure you can do it different ways. I mean, what they did show, like Craig was talking about, is you can play as a samurai, and what's pretty cool is you can challenge people, so you're not just getting their hacking
that traditional samurai.
Yeah, it's almost like a little showdown. Or the other gameplay style that they showed was called the Ghost, and that's more where you're playing like they call it dishonorable, but you're sneaking up on them, you're stabbing people. You can use like firecrackers as a distraction. But I thought that was actually really cool, and they even showed off some of the as far as like the actual his samurai fighting style. He's got different movesets. So there was I forget what the first one was called, but then it went into a water style one. So he's like holding the sword up here,
more fluid,
and so there's like different movements, sword strokes, and everything like that. So that actually looked really, really cool too, and I really like that. It seemed like there was a lot of versatility to how you could tackle an encampment or something like that.
And we were talking about the combat looks badass because and it's I like that it's very distinct on the difference between the two. When you're doing the samurai, it's kind of these big broad strokes, these big moves that are based on energy, and then when you're doing the Ghost, it's this stealth, it's the gadget use. And I was telling Andrew, it looked to me like just a better honed Batman Arkham Knight kind of series of fighting, because when you get into the fight with everyone, you know, you have all your moves, but then the stealth aspect is more to my point, where he's using a gadget to distract someone to come behind them to, you know, Batman would knock him out, where he's killing them. And if Arkham, you know, everyone could agree that Arkham is a pretty good game when it comes to, you know, the mechanics of, you know, traversing the world in combat. If this game's just perfecting that, at least the way I saw it, I'm definitely looking for that, because you were saying what it looked kind of more like Assassin's Creed.
I felt like
I
felt like some of the samurai combat that they showed when you're not dueling somebody looked a little more like the older Assassin's Creed. Maybe not like 1, but like 2, where you're really waiting for the riposte.
Right.
So, from what it showed, there was some parts where he did like attack, but it wasn't like Assassin's Creed 2 where you're just like hammering away at someone really waiting. But it does look like a lot of it's really just timing. I wouldn't say like Sekiro is, because that game's like crazy about their timing. But I really liked it, and it definitely gave me that samurai vibe to it. They even have like a cinematic mode where you can make it
dope,
like black and they showed it. It's like a black and gray. He's in a field fighting somebody else, and you just see like the dark.
It was like Samurai Cinematic or something they call it. And you can turn it on, right? It's like a thing you can access in the game, which is just one more thing they deliver to the players.
Right, especially, I probably wouldn't play it like that, but I mean, options are good.
You're going to play it like that.
And again, one of my, I think it should, we were talking about it should be the default, because I've been playing Yakuza lately, that when it's in a game within this period or this area, I prefer it to be in whatever the native tongue be, and I'll read the subtitles. So Yakuza, I don't think there's even an English option, which I don't care, because I wouldn't want it in English. Sekiro, I played it all in Japanese because I would rather just read the subtitles because it's more authentic. That this gameplay demo was in English, and then there's like, oh, there is Japanese voice acting, which I would prefer that to be what it is anyways, but I guess I can understand how some people want the English VA.
Right. Yeah, so, I mean, it's 18 minutes, guys. We don't want to break into everything. You know, half the beauty is watching that thing and figuring out what you like the most about it.
It was definitely really good.
It was perfect, and I swear to God, if Assassin's Creed doesn't do something similar to this quickly, then I think they're just going to get more backlash, because that's what I think most people assumed. 18 minutes, squonk that down into 3. Like I said, they showed more in 3 minutes than Assassin's Creed showed me over its 4 and 2 minute trailer. Give me something soon, because what we said, the next Ubisoft event isn't for 2 more months. There's got to be something in there to do that, because this game's releasing in 8 months, and Ghost of Tsushima is right around the corner. So I think it did a perfect job in showing what this game is, because, I mean, I'm looking forward to it, and I want you to play it with me.
Yeah, no, I think we'll play it.
So a nice little side-by-side.
Yeah, I think, the Ubisoft Direct, I think it's in, like, July. So, again, that's kind of what I was talking about with people drip-feeding, like, whatever games it is, like, people are moving from June to July to whatever, where E3 traditionally just was in June. That's where everybody would get it out. And then you get the drip feed. But now it's just like, people are being like, you know, with whatever that bullshit trailer was that they showed, try to call as gameplay or whatever. Like, I was just like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah, so I'm curious what you guys have to think. If you guys watched Xbox Live, you liked it, you didn't like it. If you saw the new PS5 tech demo, how did it look to you? And then it'd be hard for me to think anybody that, at this point, doesn't think Ghost of Tsushima looks badass.
I think, and again, this is
it might even sell better than Last of Us 2.
No, not that, but I definitely think that Assassin's Creed is lucky that they went with Vikings and not a Japanese aesthetic, because I think that this game too, they'd be like head to head. And who knows, maybe I don't know how long Valhalla's been in development. I don't remember how long ago Tsushima was announced, but maybe that's why they decided to go like, okay, there's a Japanese game. We don't want to compete with another, 2 games set in whatever this era is, because I think this game, from the way it looks already, would blow them. Well, who knows?
Well,
I haven't seen anything would blow
it out of the water. Like, who knows? Because we haven't seen anything. Maybe the Viking game, Valhalla, looks like God of War. Like, we don't know what it looks like to be like, oh, maybe. But it's just like, come on.
I can tell you exactly what you're going to get
but
from
this
Assassin's
is Dynamite.
Creed. I can tell you what you're going to get from Assassin's Creed right now. Ubisoft prediction right here is you're going to get the guy riding a horse or some sort of animal for 5 minutes. He's going to stealth up on one person, kill them, and then run away and get into a fight and then disappear into the woods. Just like they do with every other fucking Assassin's Creed, except for Odyssey was great.
Odyssey was fantastic. And again, some, like Andrew was even kind of saying in the public, like, we don't need to see too much because we get what Assassin's Creed is going to look like, especially if they're moving, in the new Origins Odyssey kind of translation. But give me something. Show me, because one of the things that they were talking about in that interview, Rubenstein and Ashif Ishmael was saying that they've reinvented combat. There's a new leveling up system. There's new dynamics to enemies. And it's like, if that's what you're going to be talking about in the aftermath of what you just showed in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, then show me that. Like, you didn't show me any of that. So, and when, or at least tell me when we can expect it. Because everybody keeps going, it's coming soon. Well, give me a date. This game come out at the end of the year. Like, we're past, us just sitting here, twiddling our thumbs. Like, just show me. If you reinvented combat, show me how. You couldn't show me one cool thing. You reinvented enemies. How? You reinvented, they have new skill trees. Show me.
I'm honestly kind of missing E3 now because I feel like everyone's going to half-ass their digital events.
That's what I said earlier, too. It's just.
But then again, the 2 Sony things, again, today, that tech demo and Ghost of Tsushima were absolute fire, so who knows?
Yeah, and again, so this is now. But that's Sony saving the day. And then coming in and go, so I don't know. Anything else you want to add on this news that we've had to report?
No, I'm ready to riff if you are.
Let's rip it up. So, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. So actually, there was another new trailer today that showed off gameplay that actually looked fucking great, and I'm gonna buy this game day one. They don't even have to show me anything else about this game, and I'm already sold off the trailer. That's how well done I think that trailer was, and that is the new Paper Mario, the Origami King.
Ooh! And was Cien the first one to send you the thing, or did you see it any earlier in the day? When I woke up, I saw that text that he sent us. And I was like, what's this? What's Cien sending us? And that's how I saw it.
Actually, I will say that Christian sent it to me before I got anything online, so that's what made me look it up first.
I like that he's on the draw. Thank you, Cien.
That comes out July 17th. So they're barely dropping the trailer, and that's, again, here in 2 months. Looks absolutely great. It's got that classic Paper Mario vibe. It looks like they kind of
and it's on the Switch.
Yeah, it looks like they kind of ditched the, I think, Color Splash, where you had to play with, like, the cards and shit like that. That it's back to that Paper Mario where it's more like RPG, turn-based, where you're jumping on people, or do you want to use your hammer, do you want to do whatever. Of course, with some other weird mechanics, because at one point they have, like, almost a shifting puzzle kind of area, so, like, you're jumping on enemies in a row, but there's one who's didn't get shifted there, so they're on a different part, but that might just be part of that level. Either way, it looked really good, and then it even showed off, too, like, some of, like, the main villain is, like, some weird origami king. Yeah. And so, Peach has been turned in, like, origami, and they showed off, like, some of the other people were all folded up and stuff, and it's pretty cool, too, to see, like, it feels like that origami looks way more realistic than what, like, the color palette does for, like, the actual thing. So just however it is they did that, it looks beautiful and it looks like fun. And it looks, again, they have that classic Paper Mario, the great dialogue where it's, like, dark, but it, like, it's dark, it's humorous, and it fits well that I'm already sold on this game.
Yeah, it's probably one thing that Nintendo was probably going to showcase in their in one of their events, but the fact that this game comes out, the trailer's a minute or 2 minutes and 15 seconds maybe, it showed combat, it showed gameplay, it showed the story, it showed the system of what's happening. Game comes out in 2 months.
Right? Yeah.
Assassin's Creed comes out at the end of the year, and we don't know anything. This game just And that's what blew everyone's mind. Game comes out in 2 months. I was thinking next year.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing too. As soon as I showed the trailer, I was like, "Oh fuck, man, this is really cool. This will probably be like end of the year, maybe started next year." As soon as I seen like July, I had to like go back and reread it again. I was like, "No fucking way, July."
Yeah, 2 months, and I can already see, being fanboys that we are, because we're big Paper Mario fans. That might be a game of the year for me, or at least top 5 content. Not game of the year, but top 5 for sure. When we do our breakdown of games of the year, I can already see that being a heavy contender because I'm already in, and everything we saw, how good it looked, it was awesome.
Yeah, classic Nintendo was amazing.
Yeah, Nintendo is doing great things on a system that is still underpowered, but still delivering these big games that just look better and better, man. I am looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. So,
I want to do a riff on nothing too much to get into, but Call of Duty Modern Warfare, right? The game that came out in March 10th is still setting records for itself. So, one big thing was it's got a lot of concurrent players. So the rise for their game is they had 6 million players in the first 24 hours that it launched. They had 15 million in the first 3 days. They had 30 million in 10 days, 50 million in a month, and within the 2 months now that it's been out, they're at 60 million concurrent players, which Andrew and I were talking about earlier. In this oversaturated kind of thing of these open battle royales that, everyone's going, oh, there's way too many of them, they're cannibalizing their own market. If you can still make a good one, you can still sit at the top of the hill or at least be one of the top 3, and Call of Duty has shown that. I know you're still playing that. I know every time I go online, if Cian's not playing a campaign, he's playing Call of Duty. So the fact that they're growing good numbers on a series that's still annualized, because who knows what the next one's going to be. I mean, kudos to them at 60 million is what they're doing in 2 months. I mean, I'm sure, I don't know what Apex number is anymore, but I don't really hear much about Apex numbers anymore.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I think too, maybe it's again, and this is without adding a new map. This is also, they've added whatever to the online multiplayer, which is still good. But they actually just, it seems like they are listening to people, because there were a lot of fucking cheaters that were rampant because this game is like cross-play. Like, that was kind of I put it down for a little bit because there's so many fucking cheaters that I was tired of just getting like aimbotted from across the map and shit. That now they've added like 2-factor authentication in, so now you actually have to have like a cell phone tied to your Modern Warfare account, so you can't just create all these fucking ghost accounts and stuff. And so I was looking at the Reddit site, I was just loving it. I was like, good. I'm watching all these people bitch that they paid for all these cheats. I'm like, I'm glad you paid all this money and it's fucking for nothing, asshole. So either way, I kind of was jumped back on it and stuff like that yesterday too. I was like, dude. Good, glad. Yeah. Now I'm ready to get back in. I took a little break, and
what a nice way for them to get rid of, because it makes other people like you or I want to play it more if you're getting rid of what's ruining the game in the first place. And they're going, you know what? We get that is something to some people, but here's one way to get rid of it, and here it is, and let's see what happens. And it's going to bring back player base that stopped playing it when they started seeing all that shit. So,
but yeah, I know it caused me to take a break because I, again, got tired of getting fucking aimbotted from across the map with like an MP7. So,
so is that all the verse we have for today?
That's all I got.
Okay, so that is it, guys. So let's move into the contest giveaway. So if you've been watching us lately, since episode 44, we are now on episode 46. Andrew and I are going to give 2 winners a game of their choice. Now, what that means is go into every episode that is part of the giveaway. We're giving it away on episode 50. Episode 44 to 49 is your chance to enter and win. And you enter by going to the comment section and entering hashtag Quarantine Gamer. Make sure that you like the video. Make sure that you subscribe. At the end of the day, on episode 50, Andrew and I are going to dig through all the episodes that have that on there, pick 2 winners, and announce it on 50. Can I be any more clearer?
The game's got to come out this year.
Okay, game giveaway is this year.
Yeah, the game's got to come out this year. And again, it won't interfere with anything else. So, like, if you want fucking...
What if somebody wants an old game from, like, last year?
Oh, that's fine. I mean, as long as it's out or it comes out this year. If you want Cyberpunk, we'll give you Cyberpunk. I'm sure we'll do,
but if they wanted, like, Spider-Man. Are we giving that away?
Yeah, no, we'll buy you Spider-Man. We'll buy you whatever you want to.
Okay.
The cheaper, the better.
As long as it's findable, right? Don't be a dickhead and ask for something that's rare.
No crazy collector's editions or
anything that you could go get. We and Andrew will get it for you
within reason.
Within reason. So no definitive editions and nothing that's beyond rarity of finding. So get your cousin to enter for you. Get your mom. Get your spouse. Get your brother. Go in there and enter hashtag Quarantine Gamer. And on episode 50, which is only going to be in a couple more weeks, we're going to buy it for you.
Yeah, and again, this is more because I know there's tons of people out there who aren't working or anything like that. Our money's tight right now, especially with all the crazy shit going on. We're both in a position to where we've actually besides staying home, we've kind of not been really affected by it because I've still been working. Again, like he just said, I've actually started a new job, and so I'm doing just fine. That I'd rather give back to somebody at the very least, even if, someone who does need it, or,
right,
just someone who supports us.
Yeah, you got kids and you watch this and you want to have a chance of getting them a free game. Here's one way to do it. Anything else you want to add on the contest?
If you put hashtag Trump in there, Craig will send you his stimulus.
Oh, God. That's
what's left of it.
That done been spent. So, I also want to say, guys, now that we're doing the more formal show, feel free to submit questions. Andrew and I would love to answer any video game questions you have or any random question you want to ask us. If you guys want something said on the air with your name and you're tagged, anything you want, send it to us. We'll give you the shout out. We'll give you the plug. Also, we're getting back into going to the store and buying beers. I've been on nothing but Michelob Ultras for months now, so recommend a good beer.
Don't plug Michelob.
I love an Ultra. If they could sponsor me, that would be fantasticos. But recommend a beer. We'll put it on here. We'll give you the shout out on that as well. We'll drink it. Maybe you can drink it at home with us, guys. Make sure that you follow us on Instagram at LastCallProdz. Make sure you follow us on Facebook at our Facebook page, Last Call Production. On Instagram, same thing at Last Call Productions. If you don't want to watch the video, listen to the podcast. The podcast is on Castbox, iTunes, Spotify, and whatever else our native podcast puts out. If you want to send us questions, feel free to send them in the comments or at our Gmail, lastcallproductions@gmail.com. Andrew.
Most importantly, forgot to say, make sure that you are subscribed. If we pull your name and you are not subscribed, again, we can tell. We will just draw somebody else. I'm not going to write you and tell you, hey, subscribe, man, whatever. Like, I'll just fucking take your name.
We see every subscriber, guys, so don't try to pull a fast one on us, because we're doing you a favor, right? So do us a favor.
Hey, I don't care if your thing's fucking John Q 1972 and it's your fake second, third account, whatever, to enter and help yourself win.
Just subscribe.
As long as you're subscribed, you're in it to win it, babe.
Yeah, 1 second of a subscription gives you a $60 game, potentially. So, guys, and again, we give other giveaways, guys. I mean, look at the past. We give away Switch Lites, PS4s. I mean, we're not asking much. Just give us a little love. Give us a little love. So, that is it, guys. And until next time, my name is Craig Perales, and that is Mandrew Montemayor. Cheers. Text me. Text me.
I'm loving Yakuza right now, man. It's so great.
Now, you look like a Yakuza man yourself.
Oh, it's good, man.
I want you to start dressing as a crazy Yakuza. A nice Japanese man.
Ew. Oh, man. Did I tell you, some of the funny shit that happens in the game? I think I told you the other day where the chick was describing her boyfriend with the eye patch or what the fuck ever. So,
how do you find that? How do you pick that out of a conversation?
Yeah, I don't... It's just random. So, one of the fucking funniest scenes happened, I don't know if you'll play it, so who knows.
I might.
So, you're actually out of the Yakuza, and they're, kind of hunting you down right now. And your dude, because he's doing, real estate, he picks up, they're like, oh, don't dress like Yakuza anymore. So he gets, a white pinstripe suit that's got, a gold, an orange undershirt that you wear under a suit with, gold chains on it for some reason. Not actual chains, but, chains, is the design on the shirt.
I like that.
And,
I like it.
And they're like, hey, there he is. And there's some dude there's a person wearing that suit built just like you, and they fucking turn him around, and his face is fucking completely different, all fucked up, and they're like, oh, it's not him, and they fucking just beat his ass. They're like, why are you wearing that fucking suit for? And it's just fucking, dude, it was the funniest shit, because I was like, why is my guy, randomly walking, but as soon as they turned around, some other guy,
What's the Yakuza game that's was on that Xbox Live, or that Inside Xbox? Is that follow that story?
That's Like a Dragon. That's the 7th one. It's actually a different protagonist. And that one's actually completely different. It's not even a beat-em-up style anymore. That one is like Pokemon. It's a turn-based RPG. So I don't know how the fuck that's going to... Yeah. Well, it's such a drastic turn that on your 7th game, you're going to do some weird shit. So a lot of people liked it and said it's cool. I know some people haven't liked it. I'm willing to definitely give it a fucking go with how much I've loved this one. So I'm going to go straight from this one to Yakuza Kiwami. And then that doesn't come out till the Series X, so fucking.
How long are the missions? How long are the chapters?
You could probably do a chat. Some of the beginning chapters beforehand or like an hour or two, that now that I'm getting towards the end and I'm not doing as much side shit, my dude's pretty powered. Because before I'm doing side shit and I'm like actually stopping and helping civilians, you'll see people like getting jumped or like girls like getting harassed and stuff, and you can choose to like help them and stuff. I'll do some of the side shit, but now because I'm like, I'm towards the end, I kind of just want to beat this game, that I'm just going through it. Like, I do.
How are you walking on those? Like GTA, like a world map, you're going like that? Or like
yeah,
Final Fantasy 7 where you get to a point?
It's like, I would say, like, if GTA were to pick, like, actually, more, I would say maybe like Final Fantasy 7, the new one. So you're in a portion of an area and you're walking through like all these alleys and maps. It's like a portion of Japan, smaller, and it's like